Today's lesson is Unit 1, Lesson 3. We're looking at equivalent fractions. So as you can see here, I have a fraction 2 out of 4, 2/4. It is equal to 4/8, which is also equal to 8/6. Can you see what happens to the 2/4 to make 4/8? What happens to 2? What can we do to 2 to make it a 4? And I'll give you a hint. It's not involving addition. It's a different operation. You'll do the exact same thing to the 4 to get to 8. So I want you to think through your operations. Can I multiply something times 2 to get to 4? Can I divide? Or can I subtract? So hopefully you figured out that if I do 2 times 2, that gets me to 4. Now, whatever I do to the top of a fraction, I must do to the bottom so that the proportions don't change. It's still an equivalent value fraction. So if I multiplied the top times 2 to get to 4, I have to do the bottom times 2. That way I know that I am dealing with an equivalent fraction. And you'll notice, look, what I really did, if I draw a little green line here, I multiplied 2/4 times 2 over 2, which is the same as 1 whole. And you know that anytime you multiply something by 1, it doesn't change the value of it. It just changes how that number is represented. I can do the same thing to go from 4/8 to 8/16 times 2 on the top times 2 on the bottom. Now, I'm going to challenge your thinking. I'm going to give you the final fraction now, 10/20. And what would I need to do to get a smaller fraction? What would I do to the 10? And then I'd have to do the same thing to the 20 to get a smaller fraction over here. So notice which direction my arrows went. I multiplied both the top and the bottom by the same number to get a fraction that has higher numbers. Now I'm asking you to do the opposite. So you'll remember, what is the opposite operation of multiplication? You're right, it's division. So I'm going to think about 10 divided by what would give me 2. Sorry, 10 divided by something is going to give me here. So I'm going to say, well, this is even. 10 and 20 are both even. I could divide both of them by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I just made an equivalent fraction by dividing the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, by the same number. And I could extend it the other direction. I could make any equivalent number. I can multiply it times 10. As long as whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. 10 times 10 is 100. That's my new numerator. And the bottom is 20 times 10. That's 200. 10/20 is the same as 100/200, or 100 out of 200.